Welcome to Honest Money, your best guide to financial freedom. I'm Warren Ingram, the author of a few best-selling books, and I'm also an award-winning financial planner, and I've helped thousands of people on their journey to financial freedom. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to share my experience and the best ideas that I've learned, and I hope these ideas help you on your journey to financial freedom.
Hi Warren, please can you advise the advantages of taking out a Section 12J investment before the 30th of June deadline? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question around Section 12Js. I think maybe just to explain to the listeners out there who don't know what those are. Those are investments that are that have a particular tax benefit where you can get quite a nice big upfront tax write-off for making an investment into an area that's been promoted by government that's supposed to create jobs. And certainly the principle around Section 12Js is very good. But unfortunately, they've been heavily abused by tax practitioners and product providers who are actually out there just to make a quick buck. So the Treasury is going to be closing those at the end of June. And so there is this last little gap of opportunity for people who want to make investments into a 12J. You're probably gathering by now that I'm not a big fan. And the reason I'm not a big fan is that in every 12J investment I've seen so far, the very first thing they tell you about the investment is how wonderful the tax benefits are. And you know, the truth is that any investment, no matter what it is, needs to stand on its own as a high quality investment that will deliver a good capital return for you and for the ability for you to leave your money in there over the 5 or 10 year period that you want to. Now, if someone's punting an investment to you and the first thing they tell you is, gee, you're going to save a lot of tax, that should be a warning sign to you. That should be a red light, because what it's telling you is they're not that excited about the quality of the investment, and so they're hiding it behind something else. And in this case, it's about a tax benefit. And the other big issue I have with Section 12Js is they are generally quite expensive. So these guys that put these things together, they charge a big structuring fee. They often charge some kind of a big management fee and some kind of a performance fee if the investment does well. And what they don't tell you is about all the nuances around this and all the little fine print on the contract. So, for example, over 5 years, what happens if the investment loses value? Is there a penalty that you need to pay or a tax break that you got up front that you now need to repay to SARS? Those kinds of issues. And then also, again, if you want to lose money by investing, all you need to do is start with a lousy investment. Put 100,000 Rand into an awful investment. If it halves its value over 5 years, you'll have a nice big capital gains tax write-off. And, if you want to save tax, that's the simplest way to do it. And you don't need to make some product provider rich by doing that. You can do it all on your own. And you can gather I'm being sarcastic because I think, making investment decisions just to save tax is just really not a clever way of making money over the long term. I would rather pay capital gains tax every 5 years on an investment that's done really well, because I would view that as a performance fee. I'm actually paying some tax on some profits that I've made, and I haven't paid it to some other product provider who's now made themselves rich. So I think just be careful of 12Js and don't worry too much about this immediate benefit right now.
Hi Warren, I'm a young investor, 17 years old, and loves the world of investing and business. I invested in 3 different ETFs, Satrix Top 40, MSCI World, and MSCI Emerging Markets. My question for you is, what are your suggestions on how a young youth can make extra money to use towards their investments portfolio?
Hi, thanks. That's actually a brilliant question. It's so great to hear, someone very young, the age of 17, who's so interested in investing and also, finding ways to generate money so that you can invest even more. I think it's such a brilliant path to be on, and if you can keep it up while you're finishing school and if you're doing other studies, you'll certainly be set up for life, in a much better position than almost all of us who got onto the studying thing and then only started worrying about money and savings much later. So I think my main point here is that if you're going to look for a side hustle and you don't have experience in the working world, then you need to look at what you've got and what you can offer to people who are able to afford to pay you some money, for what you can give them. And I always think, people who are earning money, and especially those that are earning fairly decent incomes, the one thing they always struggle with is they never have enough time. So they would pay a lot of money to have more time in their lives. And that means you need to find ways to give them time to help them with the tasks that they really don't like to do and that are time consuming for them, but certainly things that you can do and that you can help them with. So, if you've got the time and the effort and the will to try and help the people in that position, that's a real need that you can fill for them. And that could be a range of different things. So that could be as simple as walking their dogs, doing their gardens, fetching and carrying stuff, that they need to be dealt with. Anything that takes time away from the tasks that they need to do that you can take on will be very valuable for them. And if I were you, I would try and find regular clients. So, for example, just to go back to the dog walking, you offer that, and you say, well, I'll walk your dogs 5 days a week, and I'll do it every morning before school or before studies or whatever the deal is. And for people like that who are high income people that might be struggling with this, it's one less thing that they need to worry about. Also offering your services, for example, as a dog sitter or a house sitter, people who are really attached to their pets. One of the things that they always struggle with is, over December and, especially over Christmas and over Easter, all the main holidays, they are always desperate to find someone that will, come to their house, stay in their house, look after the property and look after their animals. And so if you can build up a reputation as a reliable house sitter, it's a great way to make some money and actually to network with people who are in business, who are income generators, and who might actually be able to help you, get a foot in the door from a career point of view later in life as well. So I think those would be some of the tips that I would offer you, but I think there must be so many. And it will depend on what you can do and your ability to get transport and to move around. But certainly my biggest tip is, people with income always need more time. And if you can sell them time, you've got something very valuable to sell if you're reliable and dependable. Thank you for listening to Honest Money. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me on Twitter. My handle is @WarrenIngram. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Chat soon.